I'm Dr. Roger Lear, and I've been doing research in the alien abduction phenomena regarding physical evidence aspects of the phenomena. Well, I've always had an interest in UFOs and certainly alien life forms since I was a young man. And in 1947, remember quite clearly my father bringing in a newspaper into our kitchen at home and laying it on the table and then emphasizing the headline to my mother that read U.S. Army Air Force captures flying saucer. And he went on with that with an oration explaining that we certainly couldn't be the only intelligent life in the universe. And he was very dismayed with the following headline in the next few days, which said that it was not a flying saucer and that it was a balloon. And he was one of these people who, if you were an engineer of some sort, then you better know everything about engineering. And in other words, if the Air Force was the epitome of knowledge in reference to anything that was flying, he was absolutely insulted that they would try and pass off to the public that they didn't know the difference between a flying saucer and a balloon. Myself and my surgical team has performed 10 surgeries for removal of objects from individuals who allege alien abduction. We have submitted these surgery specimens for both biological and metallurgical analysis, and then we have presented this material to the public. Well, the testing that we did on these objects was two different kinds of testing. One was biological and the other was metallurgical. At first, we were only able to afford to do the biological testing, and we found some very unusual results. First of all, the original objects that we removed were metallic rods that were covered with a very strange dark gray biological membrane. And this membrane surrounded the metal within in such a tight form and was so very dark and gray and smooth and well organized that it was impossible to believe that this was something that was just put there by the body. Now, of course, I had removed things many times before and had never seen anything like this. The other unusual thing we found was that in the living state we could not cut these entities open with a surgical blade, and surgical blades are very sharp. Does this feel good?
Yes, that feels wonderful.
No complaints.
No pain.
No pain, no strain.
It's like, these guys are, what are you doing this for?
And no cost. This is low-cost medicine.
You get your neck massage and your implants removed at the same time.
You just gotta relax. Relax. Don't fall.
Dr. Lear is on to 100% of the truth. He performs very, very useful work in the world today. And basically, if his work was invalid, he wouldn't have the objects to prove that people were unflattered. He's really on to something. He's a great patriot as well.
One of the other most interesting portions of the biological results, besides the fact that there was absolutely no inflammatory response, was that the area contained a large amount of nerve cells, very specialized nerve cells called proprioceptors. And these were certainly not anatomically correct for that area of the anatomy. So between the fact that there was no inflammatory response and the fact that there was a large number of nerve cells, proved to be a very, very interesting finding. And these were the findings that we took to the National Institute for Discovery Science. And because of these biological findings and other findings, for example, there was no scar. There was no noted portal of entry where these objects went in at. They then took the ball and offered to do the first set of metallurgical diagnostic procedures. The metallurgical tests done by some very, very famous laboratories such as New Mexico Tech and Los Alamos National Labs showed us that primarily was a comparison of these specimens to meteorite samples. Now you have to remember that the laboratories were not told what the origin of these specimens were, whether they were from the bottom of the ocean, from outer space, or from the back of a camel. So they were telling us best as to what they thought they compared to. So here we now have a situation in which a person is alleging alien abduction, and then we find an object, either by X-ray, CAT scan, or MRI in their body. We take it out, we submit it for very stringent analysis at world-class laboratories, and they come and tell us that these contain non-terrestrial isotopic ratios. Then what is a logical person going to conclude? Nothing other than the fact that perhaps the person who alleges alien abduction is telling you the truth.